Hey guys, John here. Today we're going to be making a Supersaw detuned, distorted type of lead sound. Anyway, this is what it sounds like. You could also use this in a kind of a faster type of lead as well. Or maybe a low end kind of rumble texture-y thing. Who knows? It's your song, you write what you want to do. So let's get into this patch here. So for external processing, I really just have some external reverb, and then on the channel itself is just going to be some EQ, which is kind of cutting off low ends, a little of the mud, so kind of standard stuff, but let's turn that off for now and focus just on the patch itself, which sounds just like this. So with this patch, I wanted to use all the oscillators in an interesting way, so we're going to be using all 6 for this. So let's start at the top here and kind of break things down. So 4 voices of unison, the detune is about 49%, hence the detuned sound to it. Pan is all the way at the top, and then the release envelope here is going to be a little past 50% at like 1.3, 1.2 seconds, give or take. The attack 0, decay, and sustain all the way to the top. And then the drive is going to be 39% to give it a little of that distortion sound. And then once you start adding more and more things, be mindful of the master volume here. I had to bring this down to about 7 because it can get louder the more you introduce stuff to it as well. So the interesting part is how all this is set up is the first 2 oscillators are going to be a saw. Well, all 6 are going to be saws, but the first 2 saws are going to be down 1 octave, holding down the low end. And these are 100% in the mix, and they're not panned at all, so they're basically straight up in the middle, keeping that low end kind of focused. And then number 3 and 4 are going to be at the default octave, so no pitch change up or down. And as you can see, they're 100% in the mix, but this one is, the third one's left 25% or minus 25, whatever, however they calculate that. And then the fourth one is going to be 25 to the right. So if we have, let's turn all these off and listen to the first 2. So that's straight up in the middle, and as we add the third and fourth, it's going to be a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, to kind of fill that up a little bit. Next, the oscillator 5 and 6 are going to be both up 1 octave, and then they're going to be hard left and hard right in the mix as well. Kind of spread those saws, you know what I'm saying? And there's minimal detune changes as far as like the sense here. The first saw wave is 0 detune, the second one is 2, then 4, then 6. And then the top ones are going to be a little bit more detuned. Oscillator 5 is going to be a detune 30, and then detune 10 for oscillator number 6. So we're not going to be using any of the LFO, so let's kind of skip that, get that out of our mind, and move on to the effects here. So we're going to be using a chorus for the first one. Let's turn off this delay here to kind of focus just on the chorus. Now this one's kind of subtle, but it does work a little bit to enhance or change the sound a little bit. So our depth is going to be 54%, the rate at 20%, and then the mix is going to be 52%. Now for our delay, we turn this on here. Our time is going to be 50%, which doesn't really matter because it's on 2/6. Feedback is 60%, rate is 24%, depth 19, blur 50%, and the mix is 42. And then right here for our filter, something very important that we need to talk about, we are in a low pass mode. The envelope is going to be minus 1.69% with the attack slider at 2.492 seconds. Decay, sustain, release all the way at the top, so you don't have to worry about those. The cutoff is at 87%, a little bit of resonance at 9%, and a little bit of key tracking at 14%, because the higher you want to go up in the key is I kind of wanted the filter envelope to open up just a little bit more. Now for the external EQ down here, let's turn this on. Nothing too crazy, it's just this patch can get really muddy and low-endy very fast, so I did cut that off at about 51, 52%. Got kind of a gentle slope and then brought down about 159 hertz. You can add some extra distortion over here. I always have it on my channel just in case I want to add it, but I didn't feel like I need to because it's already distorted quite a bit, so kind of left that one unchecked. And then also some reverb here, just a little bit as well. As always, I have Valhalla reverb here. And I just have a little bit because you really don't need too much. And you can also go over to like your low cut on your reverb and kind of just bring up maybe some of that low end, or bring out that low end so you don't really reverberate low end. And by doing that, you can add a little bit more. But that's this patch pretty much in a nutshell, so hopefully you learned something. If you want to download it, the link is in the description as always, and we'll see you in the next video.